And we're live with another Forever Mighty post-game show after yet another Ducks win. Ducks are able to take out the Dallas Stars 5-3, Eddy. This was a standing room only crowd at Anaheim tonight, so it was awesome to see. Very riled up crowd. All the woos were going on in the first period that I hate, but obviously all the fans love besides me. The Ducks had 3 goals in the first period, so it was easy to get that going. I had never heard of the guy in net for Dallas. I know Ben Bishop was there, but I had never heard of McKenna, who was in net tonight. I feel bad for him. He got lit up in that beginning of the game. But the Ducks are deciding their own destiny, man. That's what we were all hoping for. They have 1 game left tomorrow in Arizona. But the Ducks cleaned up here tonight, 5-3. How'd you feel about this game just going into it? I mean, we talked about a little bit of it last game, but the Ducks have been on fire right now. Were you expecting this kind of outcome?
Yeah, I thought they would get a win. And really beginning, when they were up, I think it was 4-1 at one point, or even 3-0. I thought it was a little bit too easy because Dallas had played a strong game against the Sharks the other night. I thought Dallas was going to put up more of a fight, and then you saw that later on in the game when they brought it back within 1 goal, and the Ducks were able to hold on. So it was more of an exciting, closer game than I think we all expected. But you can't complain. I mean, the Ducks have won 4 games in a row. They kept their hopes alive of finishing second in the Pacific Division, and that's really all that matters at this point.
Absolutely. Anaheim's 8-1-1 in their last 10. Getting into this game, Corbinian Holzer, and then your boy, Captain Canada, Chris Kelly, Antoine Vermette, and Troy Terry were all scratches. Very disappointing to see this first-year contract of Troy Terry getting burned. I wonder if it's because he's still injured, but there's been kind of mum on that topic. Pretty much the same lineup, or actually the exact same lineup as we saw Wednesday night. And then it's McKenna versus Miller. I will take Miller 999 times out of 1,000 in any situation over McKenna. That poor guy he looked shaky in this game. It's his first start of the year. Just not a good game for him. You said it was his first NHL start in 3 years. So yeah. Pretty tough go for him, man. I mean, I'm surprised they went with him, really, weren't you?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, they do play tomorrow against the Kings, so Lettinen is the guy backing up right now. I think he was just coming back from injury, and they said he was healthy enough to back up. He probably could have started the game, but it looks like they're saving him for the Kings, which I guess is a good thing. I mean, I'd rather face McKenna tonight and have the better goalie facing the Kings tomorrow on the back-to-back. And Bishop's really been hurt for them, I think, since March. So they had a choice to make. I'll always take facing a guy who hasn't had a start in 3 years. His first appearance was on April 3rd against the Sharks in a relief performance. That was his first appearance since Colorado in 2015, and his last win was in December of 2013. So he's been kind of a journeyman. He's been up and down through the AHL and the NHL. I'll pick him over Lettinen any day of the week, especially if Lettinen's face the Kings tomorrow.
No, I'd gladly go with that because the Kings have had the ease of schedule facing the opponent of Anaheim on the second half of a back-to-back. But getting back to this game, the Ducks obviously still without Cam Fowler, that very mysterious 2 to 6 week injury, which we all know, as you said last show, is pretty much a 4 to 6. Looked like a separated shoulder there. Hopefully he gets back sooner rather than later, but then you don't have John Gibson. He's day-to-day with an upper body. A lot of suspicion of a concussion, as we talked about last show, too. That we don't know the truth of. We just know he's not playing, and I'm fine with that. There's no playoffs till next Wednesday, so let's rest the guy. He got us in. Let's go with it. And you know what it was tonight, which was just as big of a win? It was Francois Beauchemin's final regular season home game in a Ducks sweater, and, pretty much has just been said an NHL sweater at this point. He's done with his career. We'll talk more about him in the post game, but he got a standing ovation tonight. It was pretty cool. Even the Stars players were tapping sticks for him on the ice. Everyone was up and clapping for him. It was awesome to see. You got to give it up for Bosch there, no?
Yeah, you have to. I mean, we've been hard on him, and a lot of people have all season just based off his play, but it's tough. I mean, he's 37 now. It's going to be hard for him to compete at the level you're kind of used to for him back in the day. So it's nice to see the tribute video. It's kind of sad in a way to see him go. I mean, he's done so much. He's achieved so much with the Ducks over his entire career, and obviously he's been with different teams at times in Toronto and Colorado. So it's disappointing. But I mean, it's kind of his time to move on, and it was nice to see that tribute and the respect given to him.
No, absolutely. And, in all fairness, as much as you just said, we give him a hard time, but I mean, he was never expected to play as many games. Like, he was not expected to play these kinds of minutes, and with all the injuries in Anaheim, he's done a number for this team, and he's really been there for this group. And even though he's been caught up a lot of times on ice, you got to remember what his position was supposed to be and what he was called upon to do. So hats off to Francois on a great career. But let's get started with this first period, man. Kick the intro off so we can get this moving.
Trying to get by Benning. Darnell Nurse left it in the corner, gets up center. Perry scores! Corey Perry!
Lilia able to shake away from Solani. It's given away to Solani around in front. Score! Teemu Solani with the steal. The fans want one. Score! Off the floor! On the board! Paul Kariya!
All right, well, let's jump right into the first period. And there wasn't a ton going on really early on. I think the first big chance was when Janmark broke in an outnumbered attack, and Miller had to come out and make a pretty good glove save early on. That was pretty much it until the first Ducks goal of the game. And the Ducks broke out on a 3-on-2. Cogliano dished it over to Manson, who set up Silfverberg with a beautiful area pass. And we've got on Josh Manson for getting secondary assists and really getting that be the bulk of his points all season. But this was a beautiful primary assist by him to set up Silfverberg on this goal.
No, it was such a good play. I mean, I know McKenna maybe was a little slow to react to that deflection opportunity, but there was an odd man rush. And what are you going to do at that point? But a beautiful feed by Manson there, and the finish by the finish by Silfverberg there was great.
Yeah, just an underrated ability to pass the puck this year by Josh Manson. He's kind of picked up his game and added that to his arsenal, which has been huge for him. But, moving on in the first period, Perry broke in alone just after that as well. But he couldn't put it past McKenna. He kind of lost the puck a bit on his way to the net. Radulov then takes a slashing penalty, so the Ducks go to their first power play of the game. And what do you know? They actually score a power play goal. And it was some great passing. Getzlaf feeds Raquel in the slot. Raquel makes a couple of good moves. His initial shot is actually saved by McKenna, but he slams home his own rebound. And this was a trend for Mike McKenna throughout the entire game. He really couldn't hold on to a lot of pucks. I think there was about 2 or 3 goals the Ducks had were because he couldn't really hold on to it. And what a great goal. I mean, it was a really good setup from Getzlaf, and Raquel was able to pot his 33rd of the season, tying a career high.
Yeah, and you know what? We got a power play goal, man. That's the more important thing. I felt like it's like this power play has just gotten look after look after look, game after game. You see all the passing, all the pretty puck movement, and no finish on that. But no, that was a great play there, and the Ducks were able to pot one of the power play, make it 2-0.
Yeah, and really after that, there wasn't a lot of time in between the Ducks' power play goal and the first goal of the game by the Stars. Mathot took a pass from Radulov, got it right at the top of the left circle, and he just blasted it past Ryan Miller. Wasn't really screened. Maybe you can put that a bit on Miller, because normally you wouldn't really think of Mark Mathot wiring a puck to the top corner. I believe this was the first of the year for Mark Mathot.
But he's been injured a lot.
Yeah, exactly. And he's not known for his goal scoring. But it was a good shot, and it put the Stars within 1.
No, it was something that the Stars came in on just a great possession play. They controlled the puck in that Duck zone, and they're the ones who freed up that shot from the top of the circle. And he made no mistake, man. He put it in a real tight spot on Miller. I guess you could, like you said, you could put a little bit on Miller, but it was a great shot by Mathot.
Yeah, and yeah, you can maybe put the blame a bit on Miller. I think Kessler's the one who goes down to try and block the shot and misses it as well, so some blame goes there. But next play after that was Miller making his probably second save to get really into the game on this one. Sagan was alone in front, found himself with the puck on his stick. Couldn't really elevate it, but he jams it into Miller, who makes a pretty good save. And then we go to the next play here. Is this Ritchie cross-checked Raquel from behind. And yes, this is Brett Ritchie, Nick Ritchie's brother, with a kind of a nasty cross-check on the back of Ricard Raquel. But the Ducks get their second power play of the game. Nothing going on that. But right when the power play ends, Cogliano feeds Lindholm at the point. And he's done this a lot when he gets the puck. He doesn't just shoot it right away. Sometimes he waits for the perfect opportunity, shoots it on net. Silfverberg gets a good tip. It goes 5-hole on McKenna. They reviewed this later, and it was actually Grant who got a second tip in front of the goal, and the goal was actually credited to him after. But still, a very good tip for Silfverberg to get it on net.
No, it was great. Yeah, you're right. Lindholm likes to walk in short distance on that blue line. He does that a lot. You're 100% on that. He gets the puck. He's able to wait, and then he just goes a few crossovers and goes back against the grain a lot. And I don't think McKenna saw the puck at all. There was no way he saw that. He stood still and froze, and also the puck was in the back of the net for the Ducks, and it was 3-1 with with 20 seconds flat to go in the first.
Yeah, he stood up like he thought it was going to hit him high, and it ends up tipping going through 5-hole. But it was a pretty good period for the Ducks. Obviously, they end up leading 3-1, out shooting Dallas 13-7. But I think a lot of that is on Mike McKenna in that period. He looked really shaky. You look at the second goal of the game, that was a rebound he should have had. It went to Rickard Rakell. And then obviously the tip that he just did not see on the third goal. And that continued into the second period. Right at the beginning, Ben cross-checks Castor from behind, similar to the play that Richie did on Rakell earlier. The Ducks get their third power play of the game. They don't end up scoring on the power play, but again, right after, Perry forces a turnover, takes it the other way, drops it for Getzlaf, whose shot is stopped by McKenna, but of course it squeaks through. He's not able to hold the puck, and Manson, jumping into the rush, buries it into the open net.
Hey, man, he didn't get a second assist on this play.
He's got a primary assist and a goal.
No, it was a great play, and it's kind of like just what you would expect from Getzlaf, making offense happen. He ends up getting the puck. Perry gets the original puck as a turnover. He intercepted the pass, drops it to Getzlaf, and the shot goes. But, I mean, why would it not be Getzlaf at the heart of it and Manson there to clean it up? I thought it was great. I mean, the Ducks really needed that at that point, too, to swing the momentum back. So, great start to the second period for Anaheim there.
Yeah, it really was. It put them up 4-1 at that point, and you kind of thought, I know it's early, but you kind of thought it was over. The Ducks were really controlling this game. And then right after that, the Stars get one back, and they get a shot from the front that was going wide, but it hits Radek Faksa and ends up going in past Ryan Miller. Kind of an unlucky goal because the shot was going pretty far wide, and I think it just hits off Faksa's foot and ends up finding its way into the back of the net.
Not much you can do there, really. I mean, what are you going to say to Ryan Miller on that play? It's just a goal that happens. That happens every night in every game, just about. You can't blame the goalie for everything at this point. Just unfortunate, but the Ducks still retain the lead.
Yeah, and wouldn't you know that? I mean, Sagan trips Kessler. The Ducks get their fourth power play of the game. When's the last time you remember the Ducks having 4 power plays before the other team even got one? I don't remember the last game when that happened.
No, and the thing about that is going into the third period, it was kind of like, I know we're not there yet, but it's going into the third period. It was like the Ducks have not taken a single penalty. This is so unlike Anaheim, and then all of a sudden that started to happen. Yeah,
I mean, we can pretty much go into the third period. Not much happened to end the second. There was a point where Montour lost his stick at the blue line and allowed Shore to come in alone on Beauchemin, and then Miller had to make a pretty good save. And then after that, it was just pretty much some back-and-forth action, not really any highlight-worthy plays to finish the second. So the Ducks led 4-2. They actually outshot Dallas 15-5 in the second period. Shots were 28-12. Really good for the Ducks to limit this offense to 12 shots through 2 periods. But then Dallas woke up, and they really were the better team for this third period. Some good passing early on between Ben and Radulov, but Miller made a good play to break it up with a poke check. But then right after that, Ben comes in solo this time over the blue line and just wires it top corner. I mean, what a shot. I mean, this guy, he doesn't, I mean, he's an elite player, but I don't think he gets enough credit for what he can do on a nightly basis. I mean, he won the Art Ross a couple seasons ago, and yes, their offense has struggled, but him and Sagan together on the line is just scary.
He's your prototypical power forward. I mean, who would you, how would you not want that guy on your team?
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
Jamie Benn is an elite talent, and he just put the puck where Miller couldn't get to it. And, honestly, the gap control on that play, I guess you could fault that a little bit with Montour.
Yeah.
But, I mean, Montour's been so good. And you're talking about an elite talent. This is not a fourth-line scrub that's riding the pine the whole night and he gets a chance on the offense. It's Jamie Benn. And he made no mistake there. It's hard to pin it on anybody there. But, I mean, what are you going to do?
Yeah, he really victimized Brandon Montour in that play, but it's going to happen, especially when you're an elite talent, like you said, like Jamie Benn. But right after that, Perry got a couple good chances. He forced a turnover in the Stars zone, had a little bit of a turnaround slap shot on net, and that was actually probably the best save of the night for Mike McKenna. He kind of turned it on a bit in the third period. He kind of settled in after some shaky play through the first two and made a